System+Check in+Gou+Dress up as a pig and eat a Tiger+Upgrade and Development. The protagonist Xiao Fan was originally a newly graduated Chinese language college student, and his soul traveled to a newborn baby in a different world. At the age of 13, he became a scholar, passed the imperial examination at the age of 16, and became a tribute scholar at the age of 17. Later, he was selected by the Crown Prince and became his attendant. Crown Prince Qin Xuan has an engagement with Jiang Yuli, the granddaughter of the General of Zhenguo. As the big wedding approaches, Crown Prince Qin Xuan approached Xiao Fan and asked him to replace him in the bridal chamber. Xiao Fan was greatly surprised. The Green Crown Prince is not taking his life anymore. The Crown Prince had no choice but to say that he was a woman. Her real name was Qin Xuan, unparalleled in beauty. Knowing the secret and not agreeing will lead to death, Xiao Fan can only agree. At a critical moment, the system finally awakened and possessed the supreme check.in system, claiming that nothing could be checked in and obtained. System, can I sign in and get another system? System, can you sign in and get a universe? Chapter 1. The Crown Prince is surprisingly a woman. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tianlong Empire, Prince's Mansion. Xiao Fan was lying in the assigned courtyard basking in the sun. His Highness the Crown Prince is here. The sharp and loud voice of the eunuch rang out, and Xiao Fan quickly stood up. Greet His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. Before welcoming the Crown Prince in, Xiao Fan quickly bowed. You guys step back. The Crown Prince instructed the other subordinates to do so. No. The others retreated. The Crown Prince likes poetry, and Xiao Fan is the Crown Prince's attendant. Every week, the Crown Prince comes to communicate with Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan, have you been in the Crown Prince's mansion for 3 years? Crown Prince Qin Xuan sat down and asked. Xiao Fan nodded and said, Your Highness, calculate the time. I have been in the Crown Prince's mansion for exactly 3 years. Does Your Highness want me to leave? Qin Xuan shook his head. Your poetry is excellent. I have learned a lot from you, how could I drive you away? Xiao Fan secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He is a traveler, and this world is a world of cultivation. The strong fly to heaven and flee to the earth. As an ordinary person, he still lives a safe life in the Crown Prince's mansion. The current emperor only has one child, so there is no need to worry about the struggle for imperial power. Xiao Fan, there is something that our palace would like to ask for your help with. After a long silence, Qin Xuan spoke up. Xiao Fanlian hurriedly said, Your Highness, please give orders. Qin Xuan had a treasure in his hand, and when he used it, a powerful semi-transparent barrier appeared around him. Xiao Fan is a bit strange. Do you need to be so serious? Qin Xuan said in a deep voice, Xiao Fan, in 2 more months, our palace will marry Jiang Yuli, the granddaughter of the General of Zhenguo, as his consort. Do you know this? Xiao Fan nodded. Of course he knows this. The news has already spread throughout the Heavenly Dragon Empire. The granddaughter of General Jiang Qian, who is not yet 18 years old, has become famous in the capital city for her appearance and talent. She has no problem becoming a crown princess. Xiao Fan, our palace will bring her to come to you frequently next time. You should cultivate more feelings with her, and then you can help our palace reconcile with her. Qin Xuan spoke up. Xiao Fan's face changed greatly, and he hurriedly said, Your Highness, I have never met Jiang Yuli before, absolutely no personal affair. The Crown Prince made him reconcile with his future Crown Princess, which is too frightening. A bad head means moving. Qin Xuan frowned and said, Xiao Fan, this palace did not say that you have an affair with her. Due to special reasons, this palace cannot reconcile with her. If our palace does not reconcile with her, it is very likely that the world will be in chaos. Xiao Fan's expression is a bit strange, isn't Qin Xuan not good at that? Qin Xuan cultivates very quickly and is now a master at the level of Xiandan. It is not impossible for some problems to occur due to his fast cultivation speed. Your Highness, this is not possible. Xiao Fan shook his head repeatedly. He really did this. How did Qin Xuan's problem recover? Even if there are always problems, can he tolerate his crown princess being defiled? Your Highness, even if we postpone the completion of the house for a few years, it won't be a big deal. If you don't mention the crown princess, no one else will know. Qin Xuan frowned and said, if only it were that simple. This kind of thing cannot be concealed from top players. Xiao Fan said, Your Highness, even if there is a little trouble temporarily, I don't think it's a problem to wait a few years. I want to live a few more years, Your Highness. He felt his head buzzing. He refused. Will Qin Xuan kill him and silence him? Qin Xuan took a deep breath. His appearance rapidly changed, and in a short time, Qin Xuan transformed from a handsome young man to a peerless beauty. Hiss. Xiao Fan took a cold breath. The crown prince is actually a girl. And it's so beautiful. Qin Xuan's appearance can be fully described as a beautiful country and a city. My real name is Qin Xuan. Qin Xuan extended her jade finger and wrote her name in the air. Each character formed by the pale golden power is vigorous and powerful, but there is some contrast between this character and Qin Xuan's image. You should know why you replaced me now. Father has no son, I must become the crown prince, otherwise the empire will be unstable. My identity must not be questioned. Qin Xuan spoke calmly. Xiao Fan smiled bitterly. Understood, he understood. It's a big problem that the emperor doesn't have a son, but why did this good thing fall on him? Will it be silenced afterwards? Your Highness, why me? Xiao Fan asked directly. Qin Xiandao said, You have a good appearance and talent, and there are also two other things. You are an orphan, and you have no cultivation. Xiao Fan said with a bitter face, Your Highness, will you then extinguish my mouth? Qin Xuan shook her head. Don't worry about that. You must round the house every once in a while, otherwise you will definitely be discovered. This is not a bad thing for you, don't look like that. Xiao Fan secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Miss Jiang won't have any objections. Qin Xuan said, I will try my best to persuade her. It is related to the safety of the entire empire and also to her family. She must accept it. If the empire is in turmoil, 3 billion people will be affected. The territory of the Tianlong Empire is very vast, with an estimated land area of 100 million square kilometers and a population of 3 billion people. Throughout the Holy Spirit continent, the Heavenly Dragon Empire is extremely powerful. But there are also many threats facing the Tianlong Empire, and if news of the Crown Prince being a woman is exposed, internal and external conflicts may erupt. It is possible for hundreds of millions of people to die at that time. Your Highness, can I refuse? What do you think? Qin Xuan looked at Xiao Fan with beautiful eyes and said coldly. She quite appreciates Xiao Fan, but if he refuses, she can only send him on the road, and no one unrelated to this secret can know. Your Highness, I am an ordinary person. Do others know the secret through soul searching? Xiao Fan inquired. Qin Xuan said in a low voice, soul searching is not that easy. You agree that this palace will immediately tell Father the Emperor. Father the Emperor will give you soul hints, and others cannot use enchanting methods to obtain secrets. Xiao Fan nodded. Your Highness, I agree. Very good. Qin Xuan nodded and said, try to cultivate a relationship with Jiang Yuli then. Jiang Yuli loves poetry, so you can put in some effort in this area. Speaking of which, Qin Xuan summoned him out. The Crown Prince's mansion is not far from the Imperial Palace. Qin Xuan is a powerful figure and treasure in the Xiandan realm. She can pass the message without any problem. Xian. A deep voice sounded. A middle-aged man in a dragon robe quickly appeared next to Xiao Fan and the others. I pay my respects to your majesty. Xiao Fan quickly bowed. His heart is beating faster. This middle-aged man in the dragon robe is undoubtedly Qin Xuan, the emperor of the Heavenly Dragon Empire. Qin Xuan is a super expert at the level of Emperor Wu, and is the ruler of 3 billion people in the Tianlong Empire. It has been 3 years since entering the Crown Prince's mansion, and Xiao Fan has also seen Qin Xuan for the first time. Detected super powerhouses in this world, system activation in progress. Activation completed, Supreme Check.in system launched, novice gift package distributed. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the SSS level title of Go King. As long as the host persists, there will be an additional bonus for Check.in benefits. Special attribute of King Go. No skill cultivation will be discovered. Strange voices rang out in Xiao Fan's mind. Xiao Fan was pleasantly surprised in his heart. The system has finally arrived. The title of Go Wang may sound awkward, but its attributes are quite good. Chapter 2. System, you finally come. You are listening at novel full.audio. 20 years have passed, and you have finally come to the system. Xiao Fan was excited in his heart. Although the waiting time was a bit long, at least there was still some. He was originally a newly graduated college student on Earth, majoring in Chinese language, and traveled to this world 20 years ago. His soul once traveled to a newborn baby, and his parents in this world passed away one after another during his childhood. This world is a world of cultivation. Xiao Fan originally wanted to become a strong person and fly to the heavens and earth, but his talent was too poor. He had no choice but to rely on literature. Fortunately, the Heavenly Dragon Empire also had poetry and songs, and this aspect was not very developed. He became a scholar at the age of 13. At the age of 16, he passed the imperial examination and became a tribute scholar at 17. According to the normal trajectory, he should be able to participate in the palace examination. Even if he cannot become the top scorer, he is still confident in the top 3. But he showed great talent in poetry, and as a result, he was favored by the Crown Prince and entered the Crown Prince's mansion to become his attendant reader. Xiao Fan, don't be too nervous. Although the Father Emperor is majestic, he will not slaughter recklessly. Qin Xuan spoke up. Xiao Fan was a bit stunned, and Qin Xuan thought Xiao Fan was nervous. Flat. Qin Xuan spoke up. Thank you very much, Your Majesty. Xiao Fan spoke respectfully. He has great achievements and doesn't usually have to kneel down, but in front of the Emperor Qin Xuan, his attitude must be more respectful. Qin Xuan looked at Qin Xuan and said, Father, Xiao Fan is the person I have chosen. He is the most suitable candidate for the entire Crown Prince's mansion. I need you, Father, to impose a sole restriction to prevent the secret from being leaked. Qin Xuan nodded. Xiao Fan suddenly realized a problem. Will Qin Xuan notice that he has a problem? Help the system, will my identity as a walkthrough be discovered? Xiao Fan quickly said in his mind. The system said in a low voice, Don't worry, host. You have the title of Go Wang, and others cannot truly control you. At this moment, Qin Xuan looked at Xiao Fan. His eyes flickered with a strange light, and in an instant he controlled Xiao Fan. At least in the eyes of Qin Xuan and the others. Xiao Fan's expression became impassive, which was exactly the same as that of other people under control, but his soul remained a bit sober. He won't say what he doesn't want others to know. Xiao Fan, let me briefly talk about your past. Qin Xuan said in a deep voice. The probability of Xiao Fan being able to enter the Crown Prince's mansion is very low, but this matter is too important. Qin Xuan still needs to inquire. Xiao Fan spoke up. 2 minutes later, Qin Xuan and his team did not notice any abnormalities. Father, with Xiao Fan's talent, he could even become a top scorer in high school, but becoming a prince's attendant actually buried him a bit. Qin Xuan spoke up. Qin Jintian said calmly, although the crown prince's attendant is only of the 9th rank, it is his honor to become a close vassal of the emperor in the future. Father has now set a sole restriction, and his memory will not change, but he will never reveal this secret to the public. Qin Xuan nodded. Quickly, Qin Jintian completed the prohibition. He was a top expert at the level of Emperor Wu, making it very easy to control an ordinary person. However, Qin Jintian did not know that his arrival had awakened Xiao Fan's system, and he did not actually control Xiao Fan. Xian, you've suffered a lot. Qin Jintian looked at Qin Xuan and sighed lightly. If Qin Xuan is not the crown prince, she can easily enjoy life as a princess. Being the crown prince of a super empire is not that easy. Qin Xuan shook her head slightly and said, Father, I don't work hard. I have become accustomed to it over the years, and I will become the crown prince well. Qin Jintian nodded. Let's endure for another 2 years. When you reach the level of King Wu, your cultivation will be better. The higher your cultivation, the less likely it is for others to notice. Father, I will work hard to cultivate. The cultivation realm of the Holy Spirit continent is to gather qi, condense yuan, cultivate di gang, tian gang, ling hai, xian dan, wu wang, wu huang, and wu di. Qin Xuan has extremely high talent, coupled with terrifying cultivation resources. She is already a master at the xiandan level at the age of 20. In the martial arts world, characters at the level of Heavenly Gang are already capable of dominating the world, while those at the level of Spirit Sea have acquired supernatural powers and are capable of establishing their own sect. Father, have you heard from your ancestors? Qin Xuan inquired. Qin Jintian's grandfather's uncle is still alive. He is the ancestor of the imperial family and entered a secret realm 6 years ago before coming out. If this old ancestor of the imperial family comes out, the situation will not be less. This old ancestor, Emperor Wu, has achieved a satisfactory level of cultivation. But if there is definite news that this ancestor of the imperial family has died in a secret place, the Heavenly Dragon Empire is likely to quickly become unstable. Not yet. Qin Jintian shook his head and said, if there is no news, it can be considered good news. In a few years, Father's cultivation will reach the later stage of Emperor Wu. Each realm is divided into early, middle, late, and perfect stages. Qin Jintian possesses top-notch treasures, and if his cultivation reaches the later stage of Emperor Wu, he can possess the perfect level of strength of Emperor Wu. The empire will be much more stable. Father, let's cheer together. Qin Xuan had a playful smile on her face. Xiao Fan was right beside him, and he could see clearly. However, he was still in a charged state, and his expression remained unchanged. Be good, when Qin Xuan doesn't smile, her looks are super high. When she smiles, her looks are amazing. Jiang Yuli is half her looks, so thank goodness. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. It is rumored that Jiang Yuli is very beautiful and has high talent. But after all, that's a rumor. Who dares to say that the granddaughter of the Zhenguo general is ugly? Jiang Qianwu, the great general of the Zhenguo army, achieved a perfect level of cultivation, and his granddaughter's appearance, which is 60%, could be praised as 90%. Xian, you need to handle the relationship between Xiao Fan and Jiang Yuli well. If Jiang Yuli hates Xiao Fan, you should know what to do. Qin Jintian spoke up. Qin Xuan nodded and said, Father, I know. Xiao Fan was shocked in his heart. If Jiang Yuli disliked him, she was afraid that he would die in the future. It was useless for him to escape from the crown prince's mansion. Even if he awakened the system, he only received the title of Go Wang, and his combat power is now infinitely close to 0. Father has left first. Xiao Fan will wake up after 5 breaths. After Qin Jintian finished speaking, his figure disappeared instantly. Not long after, Xiao Fan felt like he had regained control of his body. Xiao Fan, please think about what our palace has told you. In a few days, our palace will bring Jiang Yuli over and meet you. Qin Xuan said in a low voice, and as she spoke, she returned to her original appearance. Qin Xuan's image is sunny and tough. Who would have thought that Qin Xuan, the crown prince, was a stunning beauty? Yes, Your Highness. Xiao Fan nodded. Qin Xuan removed the barrier and quickly left. He also took away the servants outside, and the other courtyard regained its previous tranquility. But Xiao Fan couldn't calm down. He has awakened his system and learned about the shocking secrets. System, why wasn't it awakened before? Xiao Fan said in his mind. He lay on the rocking chair in the yard. The system said, one of the conditions for system awakening is to come into contact with the top experts in this world, and the previous conditions were not met. I'm not satisfied with you squeaking. I've already found a way to get close to the level of Emperor Wu, so there's no need to wait that long. Xiao Fan secretly roast. The system ignored him. System, are you in the check.In category? What are the benefits of being able to sign in? How often do you sign in? Xiao Fan asked in his mind. Chapter 3. Sign in Ultimate Cultivation Method. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. The system said, Host, this system is a supreme check.In system that can be checked in at any time. It doesn't matter if you sign in 10,000 times a day. The longer the interval, the higher the chance of getting good things. If the interval is short, you may only get a lollipop. Xiao Fan had a faint smile on his face, which was not bad. He didn't have to remember when to sign in and was free. Checking in at special places increases the chance of getting good things. There is no limit to what can be obtained by checking in, including items, martial arts skills, cultivation, even longevity yuan or a strong battle pet. Xiao Fan said in his mind, System, can you sign in and get another system? System. Host, are you dissatisfied with this system? Xiao Fanlian hurriedly said, System, I'm just asking. You are known as the Supreme System, and I need to see how high your limit is. The system said, Host, it is possible for check.In to obtain another system, and it is also possible for check.In to obtain a universe. But the probability will not exceed 1 in a trillion. Xiao Fan wore a satisfied smile on his face. Although the probability is low, being able to sign in indicates that his system is indeed powerful and has unlimited potential. Continue with the system. The system said, what kind of treasure you get by checking in is also related to your cultivation. The higher your cultivation, the higher the chance of getting good things. Xiao Fan nodded slightly, this is quite good. When his cultivation is high, if he still keeps checking in and getting junk, it will be troublesome. The system still needs to keep up with the times. Is it gone? There was no sound from the system for a while, Xiao Fan asked. It's gone. Xiao Fan Dao said, the system doesn't have any system space or anything else. Apart from the title of Go Wang, I haven't given anything else. The system said, Host, you need to sign in to get system space. Whether you can get it depends on your character and luck. Xiao Fan pursed his lips. You have to sign in and get everything yourself, the system is stingy. System, can my other courtyard be considered the Crown Prince's mansion? Xiao Fan said in his mind. Calculate. Xiao Fan's individual courtyard is connected to the Crown Prince's mansion, which is the main mansion and connects some other courtyards of various sizes. Xiao Fan is only a prince's attendant, and of course his residence in another courtyard may not be very good, but it is also much better than the small single room he rented after graduation. The Tianlong Empire has a vast territory and spacious housing, with the entire Crown Prince's mansion covering an area of over 1,000 acres. Xiao Fan's individual courtyard covers an area of 500 to 600 square meters, and if placed in the former imperial capital, such a courtyard would not be less than 30 million yuan. System, check in once. This is my first time checking in, so there should be some extra benefits, right? I think it's an infinitely long interval. Xiao Fan said in his mind. The system said, successful check.in. Congratulations to the host for signing in and obtaining the top-level Chaos Xiangong skill. Considering that the host's strength is too low to withstand the complete cultivation, this system will first pass the first-level cultivation to you. Xiao Fan was extremely excited in his heart. Surprisingly, I obtained such a level of skill in check.in. It seems that the first time I checked in, it was really calculated based on an infinite amount of time. Quickly, Xiao Fan fell into a coma. Even with the first level of cultivation and the protection of the system, the information contained in the cultivation is too much for Xiao Fan. Half an hour later, Xiao Fan woke up. He felt his head bulging. Host, you need to spend time comprehending the acquired techniques well, because it is a transmission of skills, your speed of comprehension will be countless times faster. Otherwise, using your talent to comprehend for 100 years would be useless. The system reminds Xiao Fan Dao. Xiao Fan closed his eyes and quietly understood that Chaos Xiangong contained the supreme truth, but he could indeed comprehend it at this moment. With Xiao Fan's realization, both his body and soul underwent changes. For a long time, Xiao Fan felt that his head was not very swollen. A faint nebula appeared deep in his soul, and inside the nebula, there seemed to be a small tree growing. Chaos Nebula appears, and the Hongmeng realm is established. I have just started practicing Chaos Xiangong. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself that he couldn't believe it. The level of Chaos Xiangong is very high, even a top genius in the wilderness may not reach the threshold after practicing for 300 to 500 years. Host, don't be too happy too early. You have an empty realm, but your actual strength is still very low. The system reminds Xiao Fan Dao. Xiao Fanshuan asked, how many levels of Chaos Xiangong are there in the system, and how many levels are equivalent to the level of Emperor Wu in this world? The system said, Chaos Xiangong has a total of 13 levels, and the fourth level of perfection is equivalent to the perfection of Emperor Wu in this world. Xiao Fan secretly licked his tongue, so strong. Unfortunately, although Chaos Xiangong is strong, it is not so easy to achieve a perfect level of cultivation with every thought. System, try signing again. Xiao Fan said in his mind. He has a small expectation in his heart. What if we can also sign in for good things the second time? Successful check.in. Congratulations to the host for receiving a bottle of mineral water. Has the host extracted it? If the reward is not extracted, it can be cancelled. Xiao Fan. The first time he checked in, he obtained such a remarkable skill. By practicing Chaos Xiangong, he could eventually become a top saint. What the hell did you sign in for the second time? System, there's really no system space. No. Xiao Fan is helpless, there is no system space, and he cannot currently request rewards for physical items. What if there are strong players watching in the dark? Do not extract. Xiao Fan said in his mind. He's not in the desert, a bottle of water is of no value to him. Host, items that cannot be extracted can be used to increase the probability of a specified class of items. Do you want to specify a specific class of items? Xiao Fan's eyes lit up. Can waste still be utilized? The system opens up this pattern. The system, until I specify something else again, these items are used to increase the chance of drawing system space. Xiao Fan said in his mind. A good host. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye, and Xiao Fan's life was still as usual, but secretly he spent a lot of time practicing Chaos Xiangong. Xiao Fan could clearly feel that he had become stronger. Possessing the title of Go Wang, his power can be perfectly hidden, and even the perfect level powerful Emperor Wu cannot detect it. System, check that in. Xiao Fan said in his mind. In these 3 days, he has checked in whenever he has something to do, and he has signed in 800 times over the course of 3 days. A lot of messy things have been checked in. For example, toothpaste, steamed buns, apples, nail clippers, and so on. Everything was sacrificed by Xiao Fan. Successful check.in, congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 cubic system space. The system space can store everything and is absolutely safe. The sound of the system suddenly echoed in Xiao Fan's mind. Xiao Fan's eyes showed a look of surprise. I really drew. Although the space in a 1 cubic system is not large, it can still hold a lot of things, and the capacity of a 24-inch gift box is less than 70 liters. System, can the system space accommodate live objects? Sure, but only live animals obtained through check.in can be loaded. Xiao Fan felt happy in his heart. The practicality of the system space being able to accommodate live creatures is much stronger, and he will definitely sign in and receive things like war pets in the future. 2 more days have passed. His Highness the Crown Prince has arrived. The voice of eunuch Su Gonggong echoed outside the courtyard. Xiao Fan's heart tightened. Prince Qin Xuan is here, and Jiang Yuli should also be here. My daughter.in.law belongs to someone else, so he has to rest in bed. Chapter 4. First meeting with Jiang Yuli. You are listening at novel full.audio. Xiao Fan secretly prayed in his heart that Jiang Yuli should not be too ugly. He and Jiang Yuli formed a harmonious relationship for the entire Tianlong Empire and the common people of the world. But if Jiang Yuli looks too ugly, what will he do if he doesn't speak? Congratulations to His Highness the Crown Prince. Xiao Fan quickly walked outside the other courtyard to welcome him. There are many people outside the courtyard. Qin Xuan is standing there, and there is also a sedan chair next to him. Inside the sedan chair, there must be Jiang Yuli. Don't be too polite. Qin Xuan's voice is gentle and authentic. Xiao Fan, today I saw Miss Yuli in the palace and talked to her about some of your poems. Miss Yuli is quite interested. I have nothing to do. I'll bring Yuli Miss over to take a look. You're so good, Yuli Miss is a talented woman. A soft voice came from inside the sedan chair. Your Highness, I have only slightly dabbled in poetry. Xiao Fanxin is certain. The sound is very pleasant. Even if Jiang Yuli is ugly, she shouldn't be much uglier. She can't sleep until it's dark. Miss, be careful. A maid next to the sedan chair lifted the sedan chair curtain, and a slender, white and tender hand first reached out from inside the sedan chair. Quickly, Jiang Yuli arrived outside, wearing a pure white veil. At this moment, Xiao Fan couldn't see what Jiang Yuli looked like. But Jiang Yuli's eyebrows are like a crescent moon and her eyes are like autumn water, so her appearance should not be low. In addition, she has a tall and slender figure, with a full waist and legs. Her legs are not covered by the skirt. Even with a slightly lower appearance, having such a curvaceous figure would be great. I have met Miss Jiang. Xiao Fan quickly bowed. Jiang Yuli bowed back and said, Young Master Xiao, there's no need to be too polite. Yuli likes poetry, and all of young Master Zhao's poems are excellent. Come over today to bother you, young Master Xiao, don't blame me. Xiao Fan smiled and said, It's my honor to communicate and learn with Miss Yuli. Your Highness, Crown Prince, Miss Yuli, please. Qin Xuan nodded. Jiang Yuli looked at Qin Xuan and said, Your Highness, can others not go in? My level must be worse than that of young Master Xiao. If someone else goes in, Xiao Gongzi is afraid that I will make a fool of myself and let me down, so I won't be able to see Xiao Gongzi's true level. Qin Xuan smiled and said, Of course you can. You've heard what Miss Yuli said. Let's all wait outside the other courtyard. No. Qin Xian's followers and Jiang Yuli's followers spoke in unison. Quickly, Xiao Fan and the three of them arrived at the other courtyard. Qin Xian had the same treasure in his hand, and a powerful barrier enveloped the entire other courtyard. No sound could be heard outside the courtyard. "Your Highness, Miss Jiang, I'll go pour you some tea." Xiao Fan smiled and said. Quickly, Xiao Fan came out holding a tea plate, and Jiang Yuli had already taken off her veil. Finally, Xiao Fan saw Jiang Yuli's face. His heart rate quickened slightly. Jiang Yuli's beauty is extremely high. In his past and present life, Xiao Fan has seen many beautiful women, but the only one who can surpass Jiang Yuli in appearance is Qin Xian. If the perfect score for appearance is 100 points, Qin Xian's appearance can be scored 99 points by Xiao Fan, and Jiang Yuli's appearance can be scored 98 points. "Xiao Fan, could you write a poem to describe Yuli?" Qin Xiandao, Jiang Yuli already knows that he is a woman. In private, even if he calls her directly, it doesn't matter. Xiao Fan smiled and said, "As far as I know, Miss Yuli, your family is from the north, right? It's only in recent years that you've arrived in Xingjing City." Jiang Yuli nodded slightly. Xiao Fan pondered slightly and said, "There are beautiful women in the northern kingdom who are unparalleled and independent." One glance at the city of Qingren, and then at the country of Qingren. A faint red glow appeared on Jiang Yuli's cheek and she said, "Young Master Xiao has praised me too much. In front of His Highness, what am I supposed to do?" Qin Xian frowned slightly and said, "Yuli, be cautious. It doesn't matter if you're good at talking. If others know about it, it will cause big trouble. I have already told you the situation. For the sake of the empire and your family, you must make some sacrifices. Xiao Fan is the person carefully selected by our palace for you. You should communicate more, and we believe that you should have a common language." Jiang Yuli nodded lightly. If Qin Xian were a man and he pushed himself to another man, Jiang Yuli would definitely not agree, which would be an insult to her. But Qin Xian is also a woman, so there's no other way. Even if Qin Xian wants to reconcile with her, he can't do it. Their Jiang family is dependent on the imperial family. If the imperial family falls and the empire collapses, their Jiang family will also face a major disaster. If war breaks out, countless people will die. Xiao Fan has a very good appearance and has read a lot of poetry and books. She is considered a very good candidate. If she is slightly dissatisfied, it is that Xiao Fan is just an ordinary person without cultivation. Jiang Yuli's grandfather is the Grand General of Zhenguo and the god of war in the empire. Of course, her talent is good and her cultivation has reached the level of Linghai. You should know that she is not yet 18 years old. Xiao Fan, if things are exposed, you may die. But it's also your fate to be able to share the same bed with Yuli. Use a poem to describe this kind of creation. Qin Xian said in a low voice. He tried his best to create opportunities for Xiao Fan to bring her closer together. Jiang Yuli's face turned slightly red and she said, "Your Highness, have you always casually posed questions like this before? I'm afraid it's hard to imagine." Qin Xian smiled and said, "I definitely can't think of it in this palace. I don't have this ability, but I haven't defeated Xiao Fan in poetry yet. Xiao Fan, give you 10 breaths." Xiao Fan looked at Jiang Yuli and said, "Miss Yuli, look at this sentence. 100 years of cultivation leads to crossing the same boat, and 1,000 years of cultivation leads to sleeping together." Jiang Yuli was stunned. She silently recited twice in her heart, her eyes showing a stunning expression. These 2 lines of poetry are truly beautiful. Qin Xian secretly expressed surprise. She knew that Xiao Fan was very powerful, but it was truly unbelievable that he could make such a timeless quote in such a short time. "Xiao Fan, you can't think too much. You're so fast, it's like our palace colluded with you to cheat." Qin Xian didn't speak fluently. Jiang Yuli hurriedly said, Your Highness, how could I suspect that you cheated? Your Highness, you don't need to do this at all. Qin Xuan is the crown prince, and even if he forces Jiang Yuli and Xiao Fan to roll the sheets, Jiang Yuli dare not disobey his orders. Qin Xuan waved his hand. Yuli, you set a question to test Xiao Fan. I am not as talented as you in this palace, and I have solved many questions without any difficulty for Xiao Fan. Jiang Yuli pondered for a moment and said, Young Master Xiao, I won't write poetry anymore. I have an upper couplet. How about asking young Master Xiao to continue a lower couplet? Xiao Fan smiled and said, Miss Yuli, I can give it a try. If it doesn't match, don't take offense, Miss Yuli. Jiang Yuli nodded slightly. My first couplet is making silkworms into cocoons and drawing silk, weaving silk and satin to warm the world. Xiao Fan and Qin Xuan both pondered. Half a minute later, Xiao Fan said, Miss Yuli, do you think this is feasible? The wolf bears a hair and pricks a pen, writing beautiful articles to spread throughout the world. Jiang Yuli's beautiful eyes lit up. Xiao Gongzi is a great talent. Qin Xuan smiled and said, Yuli, Xiao Fan's poetry and couplets are indeed quite impressive. Please continue to communicate and take a break in this palace. After speaking, Qin Xuan lay down on Xiao Fan's recliner in the yard. Half an hour passed, and Xiao Fan and Jiang Yuli had quite a conversation. The name of Jiang Yuli, a talented woman, is not just an empty name. Xiao Fan goes without saying that in his past life, ancient Chinese poetry was flourishing. As a top student in the Chinese language department, he had read countless ancient poems. Many of those ancient poems were not remembered by Xiao Fan at first, but now that he is practicing Chaos Xiangong, his memory is much stronger. Yuli, that's all for today. Qin Xuan stood up and said. He has a lot of things to do every day as the crown prince, and the time he can spare is limited. Xiao Gongzi, I have talked to you about Yuli's education. Thank you. Jiang Yuli stood up and saluted. Yuli girl, welcome back. Xiao Fan smiled and said. Chapter 5. Gathering Qi to achieve perfect cultivation. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Qin Xuan and the others left, and Xiao Fan felt happy in his heart. He never expected that Jiang Yuli's appearance would be so high. With her exceptional appearance, top-notch background, and high cultivation, her talent is also impressive, making her impeccable. There are still more than 50 days left until our wedding, and during this time, I have to try my best to improve my skills. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. Jiang Yuli is very good in all aspects, but her future status will be that of a crown princess. If there are any mistakes, Jiang Yuli may be able to survive, but he definitely cannot. With the improvement of cultivation and strength, he can still think of ways to avoid being completely helpless in case of danger. I have the system space now, so I'll endure for about 10 days. Next, I'll work hard to cultivate and see if I can sign in with good things when I see them. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. Jiang Yuli and Qin Xuan went to other places in the Crown Prince's mansion. The others stepped down, leaving only Jiang Yuli and Qin Xuan in the room. Yuli, what do you think of Xiao Fan? Qin Xuan asked, if you feel it's not possible, don't force yourself. This palace has asked father to take action and make him forget all of this. In fact, if Jiang Yuli is not satisfied, Qin Zhentian is likely not to clear his memory, but to secretly execute Xiao Fan. With Qin Zhentian's strength, there is a high probability that clearing memories will not be a problem, but compared to this, dead people are better able to keep secrets. Your Highness, I think young Master Xiao is quite good. Your Highness, is Prince Xiao completely devoid of cultivation talent? Without cultivation talent, it would be difficult for him to live for 100 years. Jiang Yuli spoke up. She now has a spiritual sea-level cultivation, with a lifespan of 200 years, and her cultivation will be even higher in the future. Xiandan level longevity can reach 300 years, Wuhuang level longevity can reach 500 years, and Wuhuang level longevity can reach 1000 years. The longevity of a strong warrior at the level of Emperor Wu can reach 2000 years. Qin Xuan nodded slightly. He used to practice quite hard and obtain decent skills when he entered the Crown Prince's mansion, but he has not made any progress in his cultivation. Last year, he asked someone from our palace to show him, but his physique is not suitable for cultivation. Speaking of this, Qin Xuan narrowed his eyes slightly and said, Yuli, after all, you will be the crown princess of this palace in the future. You cannot be passionate about him. Jiang Yuli hurriedly said, Your Highness, I know. Qin Xuan nodded and said, It's good if you know. If you're passionate about him, your gaze towards him may change. There must be eyeliner planted by powerful forces in the prince's residence. Your Highness, rest assured that I will never be emotional towards him. Jiang Yuli promised. Qin Xuan said in a deep voice, Don't talk to your father and mother about the situation in this palace, so as not to worry them. Yes. Jiang Yuli nodded. If one more person knows about this kind of thing, there is an additional risk of leakage. Let me escort you out of the palace. Don't come too often, just come once every 10 days or so. Before getting married, you and Xiao Fan can see each other 4 or 5 times. Qin Xuan said. Jiang Yuli said, Your Highness, I don't think it's necessary to see so many times. Seeing so many times can easily lead to suspicion. Qin Xuan smiled lightly and said, Yuli, it seems that you are quite satisfied with Xiao Fan. You don't need to see him a few more times to be more clear about it. Jiang Yuli shook her head with a bitter expression. I thought I could become your Highness's crown princess and have children for you, but I don't have much to choose from in the current situation. I don't hate young Master Xiao, that's it. Qin Xuan remained silent for a moment and said, Yuli, father has appointed you as the crown princess. On this point, father and this palace owe you. If you become the crown princess, the rest of the treatment you deserve will not be less. Jiang Yuli said, Your Highness, if your situation is exposed one day, our Jiang family and I will definitely face a storm. I hope His Highness can protect our Jiang family well when the time comes. Qin Xuan said in a deep voice, If this day really comes, it's not just your Jiang family facing a storm, the whole country will have problems. We must try our best to avoid such situations from happening. Jiang Yuli nodded and bowed, Your Highness, Yuli bid farewell. 10 days have passed in a blink of an eye. During these 10 days, Qin Xuan did not go to find Xiao Fan, and Xiao Fan had never left the other courtyard. Food was delivered to his door every day. He is the crown prince's attendant, and can be considered a diner. His treatment is quite good, including food, accommodation, and a considerable monthly salary. The circulation of the Tianlong Empire is not gold and silver, but Tianlong coins, which contain a special metal called star gold. Star gold is a raw material for crafting top-notch weapons, and it has high value. The content of star gold varies with different currencies, such as Tianlong coins. As a crown prince attendant, Xiao Fan's monthly salary was 3,000 Tianlong coins, with a purchasing power equivalent to 15,000 yuan in his previous life. In Xingjing City, the monthly salary of 3,000 days of dragon coins is not very high, but the crown prince's mansion provides food, accommodation, and all of Xiao Fan's money can be saved. He already has 100,000 Tianlong coins in his savings. Xiao Fan's previous plan was to save more money and leave Xingjing City in the future to settle down in a small town to get married and have children. Now that the system has awakened, the crown prince has given him such a task. The original plan was ruined, but Xiao Fan likes this kind of change. At least crossing a scene, is it a plain and indifferent life? System, sign in. Xiao Fan thought in his mind that he had just taken a shower and changed clothes. It's been 10 days since I last checked in, so I should be able to get something good now. Xiao Fan felt a bit nervous in his heart. If you still sign in for the trash after waiting for 10 days, it will be heartbreaking. The sound of the system quickly echoed in Xiao Fan's mind. Successfully signed in, congratulations to the host for obtaining a 10-year benchmark cultivation. After a little digestion, your cultivation can reach a perfect level of gathering qi. Xiao Fan felt a powerful force pouring into his body, which quickly flowed into the nebula in his mind. The world tree emits strong suction, and soon many forces are absorbed by it. System, 10 years of cultivation can only lead to complete qi gathering. Xiao Fan asked in his mind. Qin Xuan is 20 years old, and she already has a cultivation level of Xiandan. She can only practice for 20 years at most. The system explained, Host, do you think the effect of an ordinary person's 1-year cultivation is the same as Qin Xuan's? Qin Xuan has a high talent and many resources. She cultivates for a year, which is completely equivalent to the average person's cultivation for decades. The 10-year benchmark cultivation is equivalent to an ordinary practitioner practicing for 10 years. It is a unit of measurement similar to meters, kilograms, milliliters, and so on. Xiao Fan suddenly realized that it was so. System, how lucky am I to check in this time? Xiao Fan inquired. The system said in a low voice, Host, your luck is average this time. Xiao Fan breathed a sigh of relief, it was okay. He was afraid that the system would say he had excellent luck this time. 10 days earn 10 years of cultivation, which is equivalent to 1 year of cultivation for an ordinary person. This speed is much faster than Qin Xuan. With the improvement of my cultivation, the benefits I will receive will continue to increase. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. He wore a faint smile on his face. Chapter 6. The Brave General of Zhenguo. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. System, if I get some messy things and sacrifice them, I can get the benefits of the specified type. Direct check.in cannot be specified. What is the difference between the two? Xiao Fan asked in his mind. The system said, Host, if you sacrifice 10 items, the specified type will only yield about 30% of the harvest. It is not recommended to do this unless something is not needed. Xiao Fan nodded slightly, 30% of the benefits were lower, but this also provided an opportunity to obtain the benefits of the specified type. In just 3 or 5 years, I will definitely reach the level of Emperor Wu, and perhaps the entire Holy Spirit continent will have no opponents. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself, feeling happy in his heart. System, I have the title of Gowang, which has an additional bonus. Have you received any sign-in bonuses these days? Xiao Fan asked in his mind. The system said in a low voice, Host, there is a bonus. However, the initial duration was very short, and the magnitude of the bonus was very small. The longer you persist, the greater the bonus. Xiao Fandao said, System, as long as I don't take action, it's just a matter of getting away with it. It's not that I have to stay in this crown prince's mansion. Yes. Xiao Fan breathed a slight sigh of relief. Although he could still stay in the crown prince's mansion for a year and a half, occasionally he still wanted to take a stroll on the streets outside. He is the crown prince's attendant and not a criminal, so he can leave the crown prince's mansion. Baozi, a big and fragrant bun. Selling skins, high-quality exotic animal skins at a cheap price. A freshly baked pill can take up to a month to cultivate. If you don't buy it from your enemies, you might buy it. Xiao Fan arrived on the street. All kinds of shouts were heard endlessly. The capital of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, Xingjing City, is one of the busiest cities in the entire Holy Spirit continent, with a terrifying population of 30 million. There is a very powerful city protection formation set up on this side of Xingjing City, and even powerful warriors at the level of Emperor Wu dare not cause trouble here. System, can these pills improve my cultivation if I take them? Xiao Fan asked in his mind. The system said in a low voice, "Host, it is not recommended that you buy any pills outside and eat them casually. Some pills have high levels of erysipelas. Erythromas can damage potential and affect longevity. In theory, top martial emperors can live to 2,000 years, but in reality, there are very few martial emperors who can live to over 1,000 years. On the one hand, fighting will cause them to be injured, and the healing of their injuries will also affect their longevity. On the other hand, the impact of erysipelas is quite significant." Xiao Fan said in his mind, "Is the pill signed in without any poison?" "Yes, the quality of the pills obtained by check.in is of perfect level, as long as they are not taken randomly, there will be no adverse effects." Xiao Fan's face showed a faint smile. This is quite good, it seems that his system is okay. "Waiter, soak a cup of linya." Xiao Fan went to a nice tea house. He has been to this tea house before, but he doesn't come often, and he used to brew tea using relatively ordinary tea leaves. A cup of linya earns 100 days of dragon coins, which most people cannot afford. Xiao Fan is also in a good mood and only slightly extravagant. Good guest. The shop assistant is enthusiastic and authentic. Quickly, a large cup of tea was brought over. The teacup was made of ceramic and looked much more upscale than the glass cups from previous lives. The new and tender tea leaves roll in the water, releasing a subtle spiritual energy. Linya is a low-level spiritual tea. Drinking this kind of tea will have a slight benefit for cultivators. Xiao Fan also heard that there are top-notch spiritual teas, such as Wudao tea. Drinking a cup of it will greatly increase the chance of breaking through the bottleneck. Even the crown prince cannot drink Wudao tea casually. He only drinks a few cups when encountering strong obstacles in his cultivation. Ladies and gentlemen, today I will tell you the story of the General of Zhenguo. On the high platform inside the tea house, an old storyteller said. "Okay. I just enjoy listening to the stories of the General of Zhenguo. Miss Yuli is going to become the crown princess, let's talk about it." Many people in the tea house spoke up. Xiao Fan withdrew his gaze from the window and was about to roll the sheets with Jiang Yuli. "It would be great to learn about the General of Zhenguo." The old storyteller quickly spoke up. "He has been eating this bowl of rice for decades, and his words are full of ups and downs, even those he has heard are relishing. Mr. Jiang is amazing." Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. The storyteller may be a bit exaggerated, but it shouldn't be too outrageous. Jiang Yuli's grandfather is definitely a super powerhouse. Grandpa Jiang Yuli's name is Jiang Qian. He got the opportunity to stay in seclusion in a spiritual mountain for 200 years. He was already a powerful figure in the later period of Emperor Wu since his birth. 80 years ago, the northern territory of the Tianlong Empire was threatened by demon tribes. Jiang Qian held a silver gun and killed the northern territory. He penetrated the northern Borer demon ridge 7 times. The bodies of the demon race he slaughtered were enough to build a small mountain. 60 years ago, the western regions were in chaos, and many merchants of the Tianlong Empire died. Jiang Qian led 1 million elite soldiers to sweep the entire western regions. The heads of the emperors, chiefs, and tribal chiefs of the western regions were chopped off by him, and to this day, the commercial routes leading to the western regions are very smooth. 53 years ago, Emperor Qin Xuan passed away. Qin Xuan had not yet achieved Emperor Wu's cultivation, and the empire was unstable. It was Jiang Qian who quelled the rebellion. "I heard that Miss Yuli is incredibly beautiful. She is a perfect match for the crown prince, and our Tianlong Empire is thriving. Yuli girl already has a spiritual C-level cultivation, and her talent is very strong. She may also become Emperor Wu in the future. I hope she can conceive a grandson as soon as possible after getting married to the crown prince, so that the land of the Tianlong Empire will be more stable." Many people in the tea house are discussing. Xiao Fan muttered to himself, "Jiang Yuli and the crown prince cannot conceive a grandson. If Qin Jintian cannot recover and cannot have another son, perhaps only Qin Xian can become the empress at that time. In order to prevent emperor's greed for power, the emperor of the Tianlong Empire reigned for a maximum of 60 years, while Qin Jintian had already reigned for 50.3 years. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. 53 years is actually quite long. Although it is stipulated that the longest period of service is 60 years, few emperors of the Tianlong Empire have served for more than 60 years, and the vast majority have not exceeded 50.5 years. To be honest, Qin Jintian only has 7 years left. It's unlikely to have a second child in just 7 years. No, after deducting the pregnancy time, there are only 6 years left. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. The probability of Qin Xian becoming emperor is very high. Xiao Fan estimated that it was very likely that Qin Xian would become the emperor by then. He would delay some time and wait for Qin Jintian to recover before giving birth to a younger brother for her. This plan is still good, but if news about Qin Xian being a woman is exposed, the entire plan will be completely ruined. The imperial family is not just a branch of Qin Jintian. There will definitely be more than one prince jumping out when the news is exposed. No matter who seizes the throne, they will definitely find a way to kill Qin Jintian, and they will not give Qin Jintian a chance to turn the tables. If Qin Jintian dies, Qin Xian will also die. The crown prince's mansion will definitely be slaughtered from top to bottom. Chapter 7. The Effect of Wudao Tea. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. After drinking tea and buying some daily necessities, Xiao Fan returned to another courtyard. Xiao, you have come back. Your Highness has called you over. Qin Xian's personal guard anxiously spoke up. Xiao Fan put down his things and said, "How long have you been here, Brother Lu?" Xiao, please don't ask these questions. Hurry up, Miss Yuli is here. You can't keep His Highness and his companions waiting for a long time. This personal guard is eager and authentic. His name is Lu Ping and he has come many times before. Xiao Fan nodded and soon he arrived outside the Book Fragrance Pavilion. The Book Fragrance Pavilion is the place where Qin Xian reads and writes. Qin Xian had also met Xiao Fan here before, and Xiao Fan was familiar with the way. Come on in. Qin Xian's voice came from inside the Book Fragrance Pavilion, and when Xiao Fan arrived, he saw Qin Xian and Jiang Yuli. Your Highness, Miss Yuli. Xiao Fan saluted. Qin Xian nodded slightly, and Jiang Yuli stood up and bowed back. Qin Xian said, there is a powerful formation set up in the Book Fragrance Pavilion. Now that the formation has been activated, no sound can be heard from outside. Yuli, didn't you find some couplets to challenge Xiao Fan? Let's talk about it. There are still many account books to read in our palace. There are thick account books on Qin Xian's desk, and if he slowly flipped through them, he wouldn't be able to finish them in a month. Fortunately, his strength is strong, and he possesses a powerful divine sense. Under the cover of divine sense, it won't be long before he can finish watching. It's not so easy to find the problem after reading it. Xiao Gongzi, actually I'm not trying to make things difficult for you. I have some things that I can't relate to, and I would like to ask Xiao Gongzi for your advice. Jiang Yuli said. Xiao Fan smiled and said, Miss Yuli, I may not know either. Let's communicate and learn together, Miss Yuli. Qin Xian waved his hand and said, you guys go talk over there. The Book Fragrance Pavilion is not just a room. When Xiao Fan and his companions arrived at the neighboring tea room, they smelled a faint fragrance upon entering. Xiao Gongzi, this is Wudao tea. Drink more, maybe you can practice in the future. Jiang Yuli said as she picked up the teapot and poured a cup for Xiao Fan. Qin Xian's mouth twitched, and he didn't usually want to drink Wudao tea. That's why Jiang Yuli only brewed a pot when she came over. Xiao Fan is an ordinary person, cows chew peonies. Thank you very much. Xiao Fan picked up his teacup and took a small sip. As tea entered his body, Xiao Fan immediately noticed a movement in the nebula in his mind, including the Hongmeng realm tree within the nebula. He felt that his speed of digesting chaos Xiangong had greatly increased. If the original speed was 1, after taking a sip of Wudao tea, his speed of digesting chaos Xiangong would reach 100. Cultivation and cultivation complement each other. It is useless for him to have a cultivation method without cultivation. If he obtains cultivation in the future, it will be difficult to fully utilize his cultivation method if he has not yet gone up to cultivation. Xiao Gongzi, how are you doing? Jiang Yuli inquired. It's delicious. Xiao Fan said and drank all the Wudao tea in his cup. Sigh. Jiang Yuli let out a deep sigh. If Xiao Fan has some cultivation talent, drinking Wudao tea will have a slight reaction, such as accelerating the absorption of spiritual energy in his body. Xiao Fan had no reaction at all. Jiang Yuli didn't know that Xiao Fan had the title of Go Wang, and even a strong warrior at the level of Emperor Wu could not detect any abnormalities nearby. Young Master Xiao, if it tastes good, you should drink more. Jiang Yuli said, I have a couplet for you, young Master Xiao. Give it a try. Time passed by minute by second, and Xiao Fan was absolutely impressed by several Jiang Yuli's offerings. He drank a pot of Wudao tea for the most part. Your Highness, I don't know what's bothering you. Can we help you? Xiao Fan and Jiang Yuli went to the room where Qin Xuan was located. After drinking tea, Xiao Fan was ready to leave. Qin Xuan rubbed his head and said, I always feel that there is something wrong with these books, but they have been made so that they are not exposed. I carefully checked them twice and did not find any abnormalities. Xiao Fan exclaimed in surprise, Your Highness, do you still have to come to audit such matters? Isn't there someone dedicated to auditing? Qin Xuan frowned and said, Of course there is, but if our palace doesn't know, it's easy for us to be deceived by the people below. The national treasury only has that much income, and there are too many places in such a large country that need money to support too many moths. As long as I know how to do it, even if I only occasionally check, the people below wouldn't dare to be so reckless, and the number of moths would be much less. Xiao Fan pointed to the ledger and said, Your Highness, may I take a look? Qin Xuan nodded and said, Let's see. Xiao Fan picked up a ledger and looked at it. The ledger was densely packed, with income and expenses mixed together. The numbers used are not simple either. This is simply a running account, a confused account. Even with divine awareness and a fast-thinking brain, facing dozens of such books would only be foolish. It's too easy to hide the problematic accounts here. Your Highness, I think we can first change the counting method. I have a relatively simple counting method. Xiao Fan Dao. Qin Xuan's eyes lit up and he said, Speak up. Xiao Fan taught Qin Xuan and the others Arabic numerals, and at the same time, Xiao Fan explained addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, as well as the multiplication table of 9. Your Highness, can you tell at a glance if you write 108643? Qin Xuan and Jiang Yuli exchanged a glance. They all saw the shock in each other's eyes. Their cultural level is not low, and they can clearly judge the value of Xiao Fan's simple counting method. This spread can make Xiao Fan famous in history. Your Highness, with this simple counting method, you can put all the inputs on one side and all the expenses on the other side. It's clear at a glance whether there's any deficit. Qin Xuan said in a deep voice, Xiao Fan, this one is very good. It is enough to make you famous in history, but it will also attract enemies for you. At present, this cannot be promoted. Our palace can give you the remaining rewards. What do you want? Xiao Fan smiled and said, Your Highness, the tea I just drank was good. Can you give me some? I usually brew some myself. Sure. Qin Xuan nodded. Although Wudao tea is precious, compared to the counting method mentioned by Xiao Fan, a little bit of Wudao tea is nothing. This counting method cannot be promoted at the moment, but Qin Xuan can teach his confidants that he can expose many corrupt officials. This is 1 or 2 Wudao tea. You can brew 20 to 30 cups of Wudao tea alone. Wudao tea is very precious, you can put a little less each time. Qin Xuan gave Xiao Fan a small tea box. This 1 or 2 Wudao teas can easily sell for millions of Tianlong coins. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Your Highness, Miss Yuli, I'm leaving now. Xiao Fan took the tea box and quickly left. Your Highness, you have made a lot of money. Jiang Yuli smiled and spoke up. Qin Xuan nodded and said, I really made a lot of money. This counting method is not difficult, why didn't anyone think of it? Jiang Yuli said, many things are just like that when they are pointed out, but if you don't point them out, you can't think of it by breaking your head. That's true. Qin Xuan nodded. Yuli, it seems that Xiao Fan is better than what this palace knows. It's easier for you to accept him. Chapter 8. Minister of Works Zhao Chang. You are listening at novel full.audio. Returning to his own courtyard, Xiao Fan was overjoyed. In his opinion, Arabic numerals are just like that. It's worth trading them for 1 or 2 Wudao teas, as Wudao teas can help him understand the martial arts more quickly. His strength will only be safer if he improves earlier. 10 days have passed in the blink of an eye. Xiao Fan, apart from occasionally wandering the streets, did not cause trouble everywhere. His idea is very simple, to spend a year and a half. As long as his cultivation can improve, the longevity of a character at the level of Emperor Wu can reach 2,000 years, so there is no need for him to rush around. System, sign in. After taking a shower and changing clothes, Xiao Fan said in his mind. Successful check.in. Congratulations to the host for receiving a bottle of perfect level revitalization pill. Taking this pill can increase 1 year's cultivation. More than 10 will have the effect. The pill has been stored in the system space. The sound of the system rings. Xiao Fan's mind sank into the system space, and he quickly saw the bottle of pills, which had a total of 20 pills. Taking all of this pill can increase one's cultivation by a total of 15 years. It's not bad, it's better than the last time. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. He didn't expect to win the big prize in just 2 or 3 serious draws. System, what's the difference between this and cultivation in a lottery? Xiao Fan asked in his mind. The system said, if you directly cultivate, your cultivation can be improved in a very short time. You can only take 1 pill of this kind every day. In addition, the direct cultivation level can only be used by the host yourself, and the pills you obtain can be used by others. Xiao Fan nodded secretly, I see. If the situation is critical, it would be better to receive a cultivation reward directly. My current situation would be better to receive a pill reward. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. After all, he is in the Crown Prince's mansion and is not easily in danger. Currently, no one suspects that the Crown Prince has a problem. Qin Xuan used powerful treasures, and his acting skills were too strong. Xiao Fan stayed in the Crown Prince's mansion for 3 years and had not noticed it before. Damn it! Qin Xuan's face inside the Crown Prince's mansion was gloomy. He taught his 2 confidants Arabic numerals and new accounting methods, and in just 10 days, several worms were detected. One of the moths is still in the court and occupies a high position. Father, I have something to report. Qin Xuan saw his father Qin Jintian inside the palace. Xian, what's so frustrating about? Qin Jintian smiled and said. Here, Qin Xuan has transformed into her original form. Father, Xiao Fan taught me a new counting method. Qin Xuan told Qin Jintian what Xiao Fan taught. Father, I asked some of my confidants to check some accounts and found that there was a lot of corruption among them. The Minister of Works, Zhao Chang, had very serious corruption. Qin Xuan said and took out a document from the space treasure. Father, please take a look. Qin Jintian looked at it once and frowned. Zhao Chang, the Minister of Works, was aware of corruption, but Qin Jintian never expected that Zhao Chang's corruption would be so severe. Xian, are you sure it's correct? Qin Jintian said in a deep voice. Qin Xuan nodded and said, Father, after all, Zhao Chang is the Minister of Works. I was afraid of making a mistake, so I personally checked it again. He embezzled over 80 million Tianlong coins. Qin Jintian's face was gloomy. 80 million yuan was discovered, and there must be quite a few that were not discovered. Zhao Chang's embezzlement amount may be as high as hundreds of millions of Tianlong coins. Father, just one Zhao Chang embezzles so much. Our Heavenly Dragon Empire has been embezzled by those corrupt officials, I don't know how much. Qin Xuan was very angry. The Heavenly Dragon Empire is undoubtedly very powerful, but the national treasury is not very abundant, and there is not enough money to solve many problems. If there were not as many moths or fewer moths, the situation of the Tianlong Empire would be better, and the national treasury could be filled much more. Xian, I didn't expect Xiao Fan to have such talent. When you ascend to the throne, you can use him again. Forget it now, it's better for him to keep a low profile now. Qin Jin Tian Dao. Qin Xuan nodded and said, Father, my idea is this. I won't pass on the simple counting method that Xiao Fan mentioned for now. We secretly audit and eliminate some corrupt officials. Qin Jintian nodded slightly and said, Xian, let's investigate secretly first. Zhao Chang and the others will not move for now. The matter of your marriage is the most important. Qin Xuan nodded. It's only a little over a month since she married Jiang Yuli, and time is already tight. At this time, it's really not suitable for a big fight. Zhao Chang is the Minister of Works, and his involvement in corruption is definitely not small. At this time, a major earthquake in the officialdom may affect her marriage. Jiang Yuli is not too resistant, is she? Qin Jintian inquired. Qin Xuan shook her head and said, she has a general understanding and is not very resistant. Xiao Fan's performance is also quite good. Qin Jintian said in a deep voice, Xian, you need to hurry up and familiarize yourself with various government affairs. There is not much time left for you. Qin Xuan looked at her father in surprise. Father, why do you say that? Qin Jintian's eyes showed a worried expression. Father has been feeling restless lately. Father, the emperor needs to close down earlier and fully attack the later period of Emperor Wu. After you get married, you will have to officially handle various government affairs. In a year and a half, there won't be any problem. Father will pass on the throne to you, and father must strive to reach the later stage of Emperor Wu within 2 years. Qin Xuan was a bit nervous. Father, is the situation so urgent? She originally estimated that her father would still reign for 6 or 7 years, and there would be no problem for 3 or 5 years. However, she didn't expect that there would only be 1.5 years left. Many people aspire to become emperors, but Qin Xuan really doesn't aspire. Qin Jintian frowned and said, after all, our ancestors have been in the ancient secret realm for 6 years, and the longer we stay inside, the more dangerous it becomes. It's most likely that something happened with our ancestors. Qin Xuan comforted and said, Father, don't worry too much. Our royal family has many experts, and it's not just our ancestors. Qin Jintian nodded slightly. Don't have any problems there. As long as your identity is not exposed, the royal family can stabilize and the situation can be controlled. Father, I know. Zhao Chang Mansion, Minister of Works. Master. The third governor of Zhao's mansion arrived in front of Zhao Chang and respectfully bowed. The Zhao Chang mansion is not small, with 3 managers in charge. Jiang Jingwu, the third-in-chief, appears to have the lowest position, but he is most trusted by Zhao Chang and is secretly responsible for some things that are not on the table. What's up? Zhao Chang opened his eyes and said. He is in the training room and dislikes being disturbed while practicing. Master, there is indeed something going on. Jiang Jingwu spoke up. Zhao Chang did not immediately get up. He continued his cultivation, and a huge flame dragon spiraling around him entered his body. Zhao Chang is the Minister of Works and also a powerful warrior at the level of Emperor Wu. Only one step away from Emperor Wu. Unfortunately, this step can be taken immediately with good luck, but with bad luck, even if it takes hundreds of years, it may not be possible to take it out. What's going on? Zhao Chang, who had received credit, inquired. Jiang Jingwu said, Sir, Your Highness the Crown Prince has found that you have used a new method of auditing. Zhao Chang narrowed his eyes. Master, the Crown Prince also went to the palace today. Zhao Chang's eyes sparkled with brilliance. The Crown Prince went to the palace at this time, perhaps he had already discovered some things. Where did his new auditing method come from? Master, Shenan said it was provided by the Crown Prince's attendant Xiao Fan. P.S. Shenan's identity will be revealed later. Zhao Chang snorted coldly and said, Little Crown Prince attendant, he is seeking death. Chapter 9. Invincible Constitution from 100 Poisons. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Jiang Jingwu asked, Master, should we deal with him? Zhao Chang furrowed his brows and said, Don't worry for now. He had an accident as soon as he mentioned it. Your Majesty and the Crown Prince must have suspected the old man, and Shenan may also be exposed. Jiang Jingwu nodded and said, Master, should I inquire again? The Crown Prince's wedding is only a little over a month away. At this time, Your Majesty will definitely not touch me. Please check carefully. Zhao Chang said in a deep voice. Jiang Jingwu respectfully said, Yes, sir, I will definitely investigate thoroughly and find a suitable opportunity to solve Xiao Fan. Zhao Chang waved his hand, and Jiang Jingwu quickly withdrew. Zhao Chang took a pill that appeared in his hand. This pill is not cheap, he can't afford it without a large amount of corruption. Time passes day by day. It is already very close to the Crown Prince's wedding, and the entire Xingjing city has become even more lively, with many people coming from all over the country. Even people from other countries came over. Qin Xian is the Crown Prince of the Heavenly Dragon Empire, and Qin Jintian only has this one son. It is certain that he will become the emperor. His marriage is a big deal for the entire Holy Spirit continent. Young master, you are truly a talented person. I admire the culture of the Heavenly Dragon Empire and have a good impression of its men. I don't know if it's possible to have a candlelight conversation with the young master. Xiao Fan was strolling on the street, and a foreign woman approached her with bold and authentic words. Her body emitted a faint fragrance. Upon smelling the faint fragrance, Xiao Fan suddenly had an impulse. Buzz. At this moment, the Hongmeng realm tree in the nebula inside his head shook, and the impulse he generated was instantly suppressed. System, is there an issue with the fragrance? Xiao Fan asked in his mind. The system said in a low voice, not only is there a problem with the fragrance, but she also has a problem. If you sleep with her, you will definitely be sucked into the air. Xiao Fan was startled in his heart, good guy. What admiration for the culture of the Heavenly Dragon Empire is just a routine. This woman is probably just a killer with the aim of killing him. It is unlikely that the Crown Prince or Jiang Yuli will arrange it. It has been less than a month since Qin Xian got married, and killing him at this time should make it difficult to find a better candidate in the short term. And the Crown Prince wants to kill him, so there's no need for such despicable means. Sorry, I'm not interested. You can find someone else to hold a candle and talk at night. Xiao Fan said in a deep voice, then turned around and left. There are many people on the street, but Xiao Fan is not worried that this woman will directly attack the assassin. If there is any abnormality, it will immediately startle the nearby strong ones. Returning to the Crown Prince's mansion, Xiao Fan breathed a sigh of relief. How could someone assassinate me? Xiao Fan frowned secretly. He usually didn't provoke anyone, and besides, he was the Crown Prince's attendant. No one dared to easily kill him. Not to mention killing the Crown Prince's attendant, even if it's killing a dog in the Crown Prince's mansion, if found out, they might end up in 10 years of hard prison. Is it a matter of simplified counting methods? Xiao Fan pondered in his heart. Jiang Yuli's situation is top secret, and no one should know about it at the moment because the likelihood of Jiang Yuli killing him is low. Besides, Xiao Fan has been thinking about it for a while, and regarding the fact that he gave the counting method, the Crown Prince's audit may have alarmed some people. There may be eyeliner of other forces in the prince's mansion. System, sign in. Xiao Fan said in his mind. It has been 9 days since he signed in last time, and he should be able to sign in with good things. He needs to sign in with good things to comfort himself. Successful check.in. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 100 poisons not invading constitution. Most poisons will no longer have an impact on the host. Even if it's a top-notch poison, the host can resist for a certain period of time. This reward comes with 5 years of cultivation. The sound of the system echoed in Xiao Fan's mind. Quickly, Xiao Fan felt his body warm and radiant. Every cell in his body undergoes significant changes, and in his mind, Xingyun and Hongmeng Jieshu compete to absorb cultivation power. System, is this check.in better than normal check.in? Obtaining 100 poisons not invading constitution and even including 5 years of cultivation. Xiao Fan said in his mind. The system said in a low voice, this time you have signed in as the host, you have indeed won a small probability prize. Your invincible physique is very good. Xiao Fan asked, how many years of cultivation is this reward equivalent to? About 100 years. Xiao Fan was excited in his heart. This reward is indeed very good for him, and it is entirely possible for him to sign in for 100 years of cultivation in the future. I have this kind of physique, is it considered that I have become stronger? Will the chance of getting good things by checking in the future increase? Host, the check.in result is related to your cultivation, and it does not have a significant impact on your cultivation improvement. Xiao Fan has a little regret. I have been assassinated, and I need to inform His Royal Highness about this. However, if I go to see him immediately, it may be suspected. Xiao Fan secretly thought to himself. He waited until the next day to meet Qin Xuan. What do you have to say that you won't be heard? Qin Xuan wrote while saying. His handwriting is very powerful and impressive. Xiao Fan is quite envious in this regard. He has been practicing calligraphy since childhood, but there is a big gap between his calligraphy and Qin Xuan's. On the one hand, it is talent, and on the other hand, Qin Xuan has top-notch teachers to teach him. He can only self-study, and it is difficult to have such strong calligraphy skills. Your Highness, there is a very strange situation. Yesterday, a woman on the street approached me. Xiao Fan talked about yesterday's incident. Qin Xuan finished writing and frowned, do you suspect she's targeting you? Our heavenly dragon empire is very powerful, and such a thing is not uncommon. Xiao Fan said. Your Highness, if the woman had a problem yesterday, it means that there may be eyeliner of other forces in the prince's mansion. I haven't encountered such a thing before. Qin Xuan said in a low voice, Xiao Fan, you may be too nervous. Now that our palace is getting married soon, there are more people coming from other countries. It's good for you to be cautious, but there's no need to worry too much. For safety reasons, you should stay out of the Crown Prince's mansion less in the future. Xiao Fan nodded. Qin Xuan smiled and said, I wrote your poem in this palace. Can you see if there is any mistake in writing it? Xiao Fan arrived at Qin Xuan's side. System, sign in. Xiao Fan said in his mind. After a day's interval, he wanted to try the effect of checking in at the book fragrance pavilion. Successful check.in. Congratulations to the host for obtaining master-level calligraphy. The sound of the system rings. A lot of information flooded into Xiao Fan's mind, which was quickly digested and absorbed. Xiao Fan felt that his understanding of calligraphy had increased more than 10 times. System, do I check in here to obtain calligraphy, environment, or what are the people around me doing? Does it have an impact on check.in? Host, 2 or more factors can have an impact. Xiao Fan asked, what factors are affecting me this time? The system said, the first influencing factor is that this is the book fragrance pavilion, with more than one famous calligrapher hanging on the wall. The second influencing factor is Qin Xuan. Her cultivation and status are not low, and her calligraphy level is also quite good. Xiao Fan continued to ask, what is the level of master-level calligraphy? The system said, master-level calligraphy is already very good, Qin Xuan is a master-level. System, I feel like my calligraphy surpasses him. The system said, host, if you acquire a certain skill, you will directly reach the level of perfection. You are now at the master level of perfection, and Qin Xuan is worthy of reaching the master level. Of course, your calligraphy is better than him. Chapter 10. Grandmaster Level Calligraphy. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Your Highness, you wrote so well. Xiao Fan praised that calligraphy has reached the perfect level of a master, and now he can appreciate Qin Xuan's calligraphy more clearly. Qin Xuan's level is indeed very high, much stronger than before. He used to practice blindly for a lifetime and could not reach the level of a master. Xiao Fan, can you tell the good from the bad? You are very skilled at poetry, but your calligraphy is too mediocre. I will find a master for you in the future so that you can practice it. Qin Xuan chuckled lightly. He has great confidence in his calligraphy. At the age of 20, his calligraphy has reached a master level, and there are not many in the entire Tianlong Empire. Xiao Fan's heart twitched and he said, Your Highness, actually my calligraphy is still good, but I am creating a new font. I haven't spent a lot of time practicing writing today. The official script of the Tianlong Empire is somewhat similar to the characters of ancient China, but the difference is also significant. If the ancient Chinese characters could be popularized in the Tianlong Empire, he would feel much more familiar in this distant foreign land. Create a new font. Qin Xuan looked at Xiao Fan incredulously. The Tianlong Empire has a specialized literary academy in this area, but can only gradually improve the original font. Xiao Fan nodded slightly and said, the territory of the Tianlong Empire is vast, and there are differences in writing in many places, and no one in different regions is convinced. Qin Xuan nodded and said, some places used to belong to different countries and ethnic groups, and they had their own scripts. Even if they were incorporated into the Heavenly Dragon Empire, it would be difficult for them to unify their writing. Xiao Fan smiled and said, so I think, what if there is a brand new and better text? If they change everything, they won't resist. Even to seize the opportunity, they may push forward with all their might. Qin Xuan pondered for a moment and said, in the end, it's actually a matter of interests. If they switch to official writing, they will suffer. If everyone were to switch to new words and start running together, many people would be happy, but creating new words would not be easy. The country has tried this before, but it has all failed. Text is the carrier of culture, not something that can be created casually. Xiao Fan's eyes lit up. Has the Heavenly Dragon Empire ever tried? That indicates that his idea is completely feasible. Your Highness, how many words should I write for you to read? Xiao Fan smiled and said. Qin Xuan made way for the space and said, come here. This is the finest wolf hair in our palace. The paper is top-notch tribute paper, and the ink is top-notch spiritual ink. Calligraphy reached the perfect state of a master, and Xiao Fan touched the threshold of artistic conception. He picked up a brush and quietly brewed it for a while. The heavens are strong, and gentlemen strive for self-improvement, the terrain is Kuan, and a gentleman carries things with virtue. Xiao Fan quickly wrote it out, with a majestic momentum soaring into the sky. Xiao Fan felt as if he had pierced through a layer of window paper. He has a deeper understanding of calligraphy and artistic conception. Qin Xuan stared blankly at Xiao Fan. His calligraphy is at the level of a master, and he can clearly judge that Xiao Fan's calligraphy was originally perfect, but after writing this sentence, he surprisingly broke through. Calligraphy master. Qin Xuan couldn't believe it. He always thought that Xiao Fan's calligraphy was average, but he didn't expect that in front of him, Xiao Fan's calligraphy would break through to the level of a master. He knew Xiao Fan's age, only half a year older than him. As a calligraphy master of 20, Qin Xuan felt like he was dreaming. Immersed in the artistic conception of breakthrough, Xiao Fan finally woke up for a while. Your Highness, I didn't expect to break through at this moment. It's impolite. Xiao Fanlian hurriedly said. Qin Xuan shook his head and said, seeing calligraphy masters break through to become calligraphy masters with his own eyes is also a good experience for this palace. I can't understand what you're writing, but I can feel a sense of grandeur in my palace. Words carry words, and you've done it. The text of the Heavenly Dragon Empire carries the Tao, and Dao not only refers to principles, but also words must be able to carry the Tao of heaven and earth. Write a word, kill, for me to see. Qin Xuan instructed. Xiao Fan just wrote a sentence, and he wants to see if Xiao Fan's individual words can carry the way of heaven and earth. Kill. Xiao Fan pondered for a few seconds and quickly wrote a traditional killing character. His calligraphy has reached the level of a master, and he can better integrate artistic conception into the font. With a killing character, Qin Xuan felt a strong killing intent. Okay, great. Qin Xuan's eyes showed a joyful expression. The characters created by some people in the Heavenly Dragon Empire back then couldn't even carry a powerful artistic conception. You did it. And your character is square and square, it looks even more beautiful. How many characters have you created, Xiao Fan? Xiao Fan smiled and said, Your Highness, I have already created most of the characters. If it's fast, it will take 1.5 years, and if it's slow, it should take 3 to 5 years to complete. Qin Xuan looked at Xiao Fan in surprise. He thought that Xiao Fan only created a small number of characters and it would take a lot of time, but he didn't expect that Xiao Fan had already created most of them. Xiao Fan, if this palace becomes an emperor in the future, and the character you created is recognized by this palace, it will be promoted to the whole country. Qin Xuan's eyes showed excitement. If he could unify the national writing system, it would be a great achievement for him, and in the future, there will be vivid records and praise in history. With a unified writing system, communication between different regions will be more convenient, ethnic integration will accelerate, and the entire country will become more united. The benefits here are hard to express in just a few words. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Xiao Fan spoke calmly. He doesn't even need to create words, he can write them all now, but he definitely wouldn't do this before his strength improves. This is a talisman. Qin Xuan treated him fairly well, but he rolled the sheets with the crown princess. What if Qin Xuan wants to kill him in the future? He needs to keep a hand. Xiao Fan, what do these 2 sentences mean? Qin Xuan looked at the 2 sentences written by Xiao Fan and asked. Xiao Fan recited it once. Qin Xuan silently recited it twice, with a surprised expression in his eyes. These 2 lines of poetry must have the potential to be passed down for eternity. Xiao Fan, how about finding 2 guards for you in this palace? When you leave the Crown Prince's mansion, let them protect your safety. Qin Xuan inquired. If Xiao Fan was just a simple and powerful poet, in Qin Xuan's opinion, he didn't need to pay too much attention, but Xiao Fan first came up with a simple counting method, and now he has even created a type of writing. Xiao Fan said, "Your Highness, let's talk about this after you get married. Now, if you find a guard for me, many eyes will notice me." Qin Xuan nodded slightly. "Then stay at the Crown Prince's mansion and don't leave. Write down all the characters that have been created now. Write the corresponding official text next to it." Xiao Fan didn't write many words just now. Qin Xuan wanted to see more. Moreover, Xiao Fan wrote that if he died unexpectedly, he would not be lost, which may be important for the Heavenly Dragon Empire. "Yes, Your Highness." Xiao Fan was ordered to leave. At the age of 20, with a master-level calligraphy, excellent poetry and lyrics, and the ability to create a new font, can this guy achieve the goal of becoming a literary and musical star? Qin Xuan murmured to himself. Looking at the words written by Xiao Fan, he shook his head. He was originally proud of this aspect, but compared to Master Xiao Fan's calligraphy, his master-level calligraphy is far inferior.